Hey guys, John here. Today is a fun day because today we're checking out the brand new ENGL Steve Morse Signature 20 amplifier. And this amp is quite unique and quite different from all the ENGLs that I've tried so far. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Now let's start right away with the demo song that I wrote, especially for this amp with my Schecter Solo II Custom, with some riffs, some chords, and also a solo lead section, which is not something I do often, but I really enjoyed it. Check it out. Cool, so that was my Schecter Solo II Custom, an excellent guitar, through the lead channel of this amplifier. And for the rhythm section and the chords and stuff, I just used the lead channel with the noise gate on, and then for the solo lead parts, I enabled the gain boost as well as the delay. Now for all the demo tones in this video, the amp is being fed into my RedSeven Amplification Amp Central reactive load and impulse responses from ML Sound Lab, and I'm using the traditional Mega cabinet. But yeah, I thought that this amplifier sounded really good there in the rhythm sections as well as the solo sections. This is not really a metal amplifier, it's more of a rock amp that lends itself extremely well to lead tones. That's why I also had to include that little lead section in there. Now obviously this amplifier looks very similar to the Iron Ball Special Edition, especially with all the switches over here, the effects on the back like the delay, reverb, the noise gate, the IR loading, and all that stuff. But obviously, this one has a blue front over here. And also, the logo on this one is very shiny, whereas the logo on the Iron Ball is sort of, I guess, brushed chrome. And one difference that I noticed is that they sort of upgraded the handle. So the one from the Iron Ball sort of recesses into the chassis, and this one goes like this. So yeah, that's a little cool little touch. Anyway, we all know Steve Morse, right? He's from the Dixie Dregs, he played in Deep Purple, he has his solo project, he's a legendary guitar player. And they also make the large Steve Morse signature head over at ENGL. I've never tried that one, so I was very excited to see what this amplifier is all about. When I plugged it in for the first time through my ENGL cabinet, which you will also hear later in the video by the way, I found that it was a bit dark sounding. So this amplifier really starts to open up when you push the treble to around 3 o'clock or so. That's sort of the sweet spot for me anyway. And what I immediately noticed, and what a big difference was between this one and the Iron Ball SE, is that the lead channel has no presence control. So only the clean channel has a presence control. And with the Iron Ball, the lead channel has a presence control. So that was an interesting choice. I'm sure that that choice was made in collaboration with Steve. So if you want a really bright sounding amplifier and aggressive sounding amplifier, perhaps this is not the amp for you. However, of course you could put an EQ pedal in the loop to sort of fix that. Anyway, so that took a little bit of getting used to, but I quickly found out that the treble control is quite powerful on this amplifier. So as I said, when you crank it to around 3 o'clock or so, it really opens up, as you also hopefully heard in the demo song. Now the clean channel on this amp is beautiful. All the clean channels on all the ENGL amplifiers are beautiful. It's really full, but it can also get very nice and chimey up top. And the additional presence control for that channel really helps. And it's just cool that you can like enable a little reverb or delay to sweeten it up a little bit. So let's take a listen to a clean demo purely of the clean channel with some delay and reverb using my Schecter E1 SLS Elite guitar with the Fishman Fluence modern pickup in the neck. And yeah, let's see how that sounds. Check it out. Nice, some beautiful clean tones right there. Now let's take a look at the features that this amp has to offer. And again, the feature set is quite similar to the Iron Ball SE with some small tweaks here and there. So again, it's a 2-channel amplifier with a clean and a lead channel and with a shared 3-band EQ, and both channels have their own gain controls as well. The lead channel has its own dedicated volume control and the clean channel has its own dedicated presence control. And then we also have a master volume control. Of course, we also have a bunch of switches over here that you can use to enable certain features. You can use the top left store switch to store your presets, because this amp can also be controlled via MIDI. Then we have the master volume boost. This gives you a boost of a couple decibels, which can be very handy for a solo lead. Then we have the reverb and the delay switches to turn on or off the reverb and the delay. And also the gain boost feature, which just adds more gain basically. A little switch to switch between the channels, the effects loop switch, and also the noise gate switch. So that's what we have on the front of the amplifier basically. But this amp is pretty feature packed, so there's a bunch of stuff on the back as well. Again, with a similar control layout as the Iron Ball. So up top here, we've got controls for the delay mix, delay time, and delay feedback. So that gives you quite a lot of control. And of course, also a reverb amount control and the noise gate threshold. And then we have this little switch over here, the IR balanced output. And this lets you choose where the signal from the amplifier goes into the IR section. So that's pre the power amp or post the power amp. And that will give you a little bit of a different flavor. Up here, we've got the power soak. I always have it set to full power, but you can also set it to 5 watts, 1 watt, or also speaker off. So you can use this amplifier without a speaker because it has a built-in load, and that's really convenient for, you know, the bedroom player or people who want to record at night and stuff like that. Over here you can connect a foot switch to change channels and to enable the boost. And we've got our MIDI in, which you can use to control various parameters of the amplifier, basically all the switches and stuff. A USB port for loading your own IRs into the unit, the effects loop, and then the IR selector with 8 slots. You can use the built-in IRs or load your own. And then we have a headphones out with a level control as well as an IR balanced output. You can send this to your interface, the mixer or the PA, etc. And it also has a ground lift switch. And then over here, we've got the power amp output to send to your guitar cabinet. So yeah, that's a lot of features for such a small little amplifier, and I love it. Now, this amp is 20 watts, of course. It has 2 EL84s in the power section, but it packs a punch. When you crank up the bass control, The low end gets nice and thumpy, and it does not sound like a small amplifier at all. Now, one thing that I like about the ENGL amplifiers is that the clean channels, when you crank the gain, you get some nice sort of vintage crunch sounds. Sort of spitty and nasty sounding, really cool, you know, for some vintage like AC/DC type tones. You'll get to hear that later in the video as well. But the lead channel on this amp also does a great crunch. So we're going to try that with my Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s with the JB in the bridge for some sort of classic rock tones. Yeah, let's take a listen to how that sounds. Check it out. Wonderful, wonderful. That sounded great. Now, a friend of mine, Henning Bali, who's also reviewing this amplifier, he told me, don't try metal, don't try drop tunings. That's not what this amplifier is made for. However, we're still going to do it because I know that you want to know how this thing sounds for some heavy stuff. So we're going to try my ESP LTD EC-401B, the baritone, Eclipse with EMGs in it, with an EMG 81 in the bridge. Even though this amplifier isn't made for the really heavy stuff, I think it does it quite well. And the overall frequency range of this amplifier lets it sit in the mix really well. So let's take a listen. Check it out. Okay, that was pretty cool. So even though this technically is not a metal amplifier, I think it does it quite well. And if you were to put an EQ pedal in the loop or something like that, you can sculpt the tone even further. But yeah, the Iron Ball SE will get you that tone sooner. You know, that amp was built for metal, I think. And this one is not. This is more of a lead amplifier or a rock amplifier. It's warmer sounding, it's fatter sounding in the mids, but it has its own character, as you can hear, that I really enjoy in the mix, and it's a lot of fun to play. So what I want to do now is connect the amplifier through my ENGL 4x12 XXL cabinet, grab my Schecter Solo II Custom, and just play some simple chords and very simple riffs, and tweak the controls a little bit so you guys can sort of hear how this amplifier reacts to tweakage, if you will, and also how this thing sounds through my real ENGL cabinet. Okay, take a listen. Well, that sounded wonderful. As you can see, this amplifier has quite a wide range of tones going on, and it's a unique sounding amplifier. It doesn't sound like any ENGL that I own or any ENGL that I've tried so far. And as I said before, it just sounds great in a mix. I guess that's why there isn't a presence control on the lead channel. They just fine-tuned the frequency response so that it sits really well in a mix. So that was the brand new Steve Morse Signature 20 amplifier from ENGL Amplification. So I hope you enjoyed this video. please drop a like and subscribe down below and check out my affiliate links to support the channel at no additional cost. Also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook and Instagram and let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this little wonderful amplifier. Thank you guys so much for watching and I hope to see you soon. Cheers!